Hi everyone, number one Marmaduke fan here, and I think I did it. I think I have found peak internet cancer. It has all the things that individually might contribute to internet cancer, but seemingly all rolled into one. I'm sincerely hoping that if I can get this out of my system, I will never fall for fake news clickbait ever again so long as I live, because this is lung cancer and pancreatic cancer and prostate cancer and breast cancer all rolled into one. From bustle.com, 7 Harry Potter characters who are actually super problematic, from Albus Dumbledore to Ron Weasley. Oh, by Melissa Ragsdale, February 15th, 2008. So the reason I came across this atrocity is for a while I've been thinking about revisiting the Harry Potter series to do a few videos on the theme Harry Potter is not SJW. The main reason being that Harry Potter has almost become a joke. Like, I'm embarrassed to admit I've read and reread the Harry Potter books and enjoyed them in my youth because they are so frequently cited for awful political arguments and cringy political signs. And this is it. So not only is it a Harry Potter cringe piece, not only is it about problematic stuff, not only is it one of these lazy clickbait listicles, but it also ignores significant context. So I'm going in blind. I've read the Harry Potter books a lot growing up. I'm not going to reread them because this fake news isn't worth the time to do a really thorough debunking. So this is my cold reaction to what I'm sure has to be the worst combination of awful fake news tropes rolled into one. So, writes Ms. Ragdale. As Sirius Black says in Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, the world isn't split into good people and Death Eaters. A person can be a good guy or on the right side and still exhibit behavior that is toxic in other ways. So while it's easy enough to say Voldemort or Bellatrix Lestrange is evil, it's hard to admit that these 7 Harry Potter characters are also extremely problematic. Oh. I I almost wonder if problematic articles are written by computers at this point. Like maybe you don't like maybe the author doesn't even sincerely believe in using the problematic classes. Maybe this poor creature is just trapped having to type 30 articles a day to make minimum wage, and she knows the problematic is one of the buzzwords. But or maybe not. I don't know. Let's continue. Not every character in Harry Potter is perfect. In fact, none of them are. Most of them exist in shades of gray, in writing characters that are toxic in different ways, while sometimes still being good. J.K. Rowling gives readers the chance to explore how these dynamics play out in the real world, too. But that can only happen if readers are frank about the ways in which these characters are problematic. I'm going to skip over a little. So pretty much 3 paragraphs saying the same thing. You got to call out the problematic stuff. Okay, number 1, Uncle Vernon. This doesn't even make sense. His abuse of Harry is played as abuse in the context of the story. And apart from raising Harry and not being Uncle Voldemort, who is going to look at Uncle Vernon and say, this character is a model of behavior that parents everywhere should imitate Uncle Vernon? It makes me wonder, it's one of the reasons why I wonder if the intentions of Melissa Ragsdale, the author, is even like sincerely to try to argue these people are problematic, or just get a list of 7 and say whatever and collect the minimum wage paycheck. She writes, let's be frank, Harry is constantly being physically attacked, gaslit, and emotionally undermined by his uncle, and that is not okay. when in the novel does it say that that is okay? And then Aunt Petunia, it's kind of the same argument, different character, to get our listicle. Number 3, Severus Snape. Of course, Severus Snape is a walking, talking gray area. While some fans believe his actions on behalf of the Order counteract the evil he performed on behalf of Voldemort, I disagree. Remember, he was a legit Death Eater for years before he made his deal with Dumbledore. Oh my gosh, SJW warning. Okay, so because Severus Snape was a Death Eater for years before making a deal with Dumbledore, he therefore cannot find redemption. So the point of Severus Snape's character was that he was never supposed to be likable. He was never supposed to be a good man, but he did secretly work for Albus Dumbledore the whole time. The book tried to get you to think that maybe he was never loyal to Dumbledore, that he was secretly a Death Eater the whole time. But he was like the one person who could really be a double agent and serve Albus Dumbledore and actually serve Hogwarts in a capacity no other person could. The only thing I wish is that the last book would have made it a little bit more clear how much good a person like Severus Snape would be able to accomplish in his unique position as someone who could act as a double agent on behalf of Albus Dumbledore. Plus, I also believe that Snape's insistent and obsessive love for Lily is actually pretty creepy. So when a boy has unrequited love for a girl, it's creepy. When a girl has unrequited love for a boy, it's creepy that he doesn't return her unrequited love. His unrequited love for Lily, after she died, is a form of grief, and it's something that motivates Severus Snape to redeem himself, to abandon his evil ways and become a good person. The SJWs hate redemption arcs. Number 4, this is where it gets really interesting, gang. Ron Weasley. It's hard not to have a soft spot for Ron, but he can be very problematic. Coming from a place of relative privilege. So the reason this person has written relative privilege is that what that means is that Ron Weasley comes from a place where he has zero privilege. She probably means he's a straight white male, but the whole point of Ron Weasley's family throughout the book is that they are poor as church mice, and that Ron Weasley's dad gets no respect and offers him no opportunities in life. Furthermore, in a massive family where they are very financially at the bottom rung of the economic ladder, Ron is also at the bottom rung of his family affections, because he's the second to last kid, and the last daughter is the baby of the family. So he has middle child syndrome to the nth degree. But none of that socioeconomic privilege matters, because he's a straight white male. He's relatively privileged. His deference for the status quo often lead him to either defending... this subject-verb agreement. His deference for the status quo, deference often leads him, so can't use the correct verb tense, to either defending or ignoring systematic problems with the wizarding world. It'd be better to say to either defend or ignore systematic problems with the wizarding world. Take, for instance, the attitude that he exhibits towards house elves during the bulk of the series. He often claims that house elves like to be enslaved and treats Hermione's efforts to liberate them as a joke. Plus, in The Cursed Child, he emotionally manipulates Hermione, who is now his wife. So it was supposed to be emotionally manipulates Hermione, who is now his wife. And Hermione gives Ron so much guff throughout that whole series. So if Hermione busts Ron's balls twice a chapter for 7 books, but Ron does one bad thing to Hermione, then Ron is a toxic abuser because feminism. Also, yes, the house elves did like to be enslaved, and that's part of the point of that's the comedic element of their character, and it was supposed to highlight a problem in the wizarding world while also highlighting Hermione's bossiness. So Hermione, the bossy SJW, wanted to free the house elves without ever bothering to ask if the house elves were unhappy working for Albus Dumbledore. Number 5, Albus Dumbledore. Okay, I love Dumbledore, but he knowingly endangers the children of Hogwarts on more than one occasion. Let's face it, If a real-life headmaster put a ferocious dog in their school, 3 heads or otherwise, they would be arrested immediately. Plus, he knows about the Dursleys' abuse of Harry and does nothing to stop it. Also, he leaves a baby on a doorstep. Okay, so at this point, this is just like storytelling tropes. And haha, they're storytelling tropes. Isn't that silly? Albus Dumbledore has a 3-headed dog in Hogwarts because it lets us have an exciting 3-headed dog in a children's story. Yeah, it doesn't make very much logical sense in the real world. I guess the reasoning is he wanted to protect the Philosopher's Stone. But in real world logic, Dumbledore wouldn't be able to get away with something like that. But then if we're operating under real world logic, then the entire universe of Harry Potter wouldn't make that much sense. Like the economics of it wouldn't make that much sense. We have to suspend our disbelief to enjoy a little fantasy adventure, primarily aimed at children. Number 6, Argus Filch. Okay, why would someone so intent on torturing students be allowed to work at a school? Because he highlights the medieval roots of the school, that the school used to have medieval implements of torture, and it was much harder on the older generation than it is on the current generation. And you can probably thank Albus Dumbledore for that. There's being strict, and then there's Filch's thirst for being able to do terrible things to troublemakers at the school. I really don't understand the intention of this article. Is the intention of this article to say Harry Potter would be better if characters like Filch were toned down? In this instance, it's saying that characters doing bad things that everyone in this story and every reader knows are bad things are somehow problematic. What next? Just 7 problematic things performed by Lord Voldemort? Why not? Merope Gaunt. I have sympathy for Merope. I really do. She was a victim of abuse, but I feel like not enough attention is given to the fact that she magically date rapes Tom Riddle Sr. for years. Oh my gosh. Red Pill Award. I take it all back. Melissa Ragsdale is the best. She recognizes that a female character can date rape a male character. Not only that, she feels sympathy for Tom Riddle, a.k.a. Lord Voldemort, a.k.a. the Adolf Hitler, KKK, Grand Wizard, literally, of the Harry Potter universe. Is this an elaborate head fake, Melissa Ragsdale? Can we please acknowledge how entirely screwed up that actually is? Yes! Okay, I take it back. This isn't the worst piece of internet fake news ever. This is the best red pill dumb article ever written. Newsflash, it is wrong for women to date rape men. Good on you, Melissa Ragsdale. Honorary Honey Badger Brigade. I'm sorry, guys. I had 2 beers today, and that is probably too much for you, boy. #1 Marmaduke fan. I love you guys. I love my patrons on Patreon, and I'm very, very sorry to my patrons on Patreon for this unabashed bleep post, and I'll catch you later.